Okay, let's go ahead and watch this video that just started autoplaying. I don't really know exactly what this is going to be, but the great re-emigration out of Israel back to Germany, I guess, is apparently happening. Germany said, we do not want any of the Jews here. Get all of these Jews, get them the fuck out of Germany. That's what they said back after World War II. And the Jews said, okay, fine, we'll go to Palestine. And then they, set up their little colony out there, displaced all like 700,000 Palestinians, and then continuously expanded their borders every year going forward, constantly trying to push more Palestinians out of Israel. And then and now I guess we're kind of doing the opposite. Now we're doing the opposite. All of the I have to assume that this is going to be about all of the liberal higher educated types of Israeli Jews are now apparently fleeing Israel because it's constantly it's constantly in a state of war, and is probably going to be in a perpetual state of war indefinitely going forward. So I guess a bunch of them are now leaving Israel and going back to Germany, which is a great irony. But anyway, let's watch this video. I don't know what the scope of this is. I don't know if it's a lot. I take a lot of I do understand it is important that to know if there's a net inflow or outflow from Israel, because that determines how much territory they would be able to expand and occupy to, because they are a small country with not that many people and not that big of an army, and their army is not that capable. So so all of these factors, you need a large group of people if you want to continue expanding further and further, enable just to maintain that apartheid structure. And so if there is net inflow or outflow, that's good information to have. So I'm hoping we'll get a little bit of information about that here too.
Wir stehen hier am Oliverplatz. In der Zeit der Nazis war Versammlungen gegen Juden. Und heute sind wir hier zusammengekommen, zu sagen, Am Israel.
Dude. Oof. They're saying Am Israel high on oh god, dude. This irony, man. This is like Greek tragedy level of irony, man. They I don't know. It seems like they're talking about the great nation state of Israel, so it sounds like they still are Zionists, and just like the great Greek tragedy of these people becoming Nazis themselves is it is just wild. And now they're going back to Germany to, I guess, espouse the great the great ideology of the modern day Nazis, aka Israelis.
Yehuda Teichdauer is originally from New York. He's led Berlin's Shabbat community for more than 20 years. His mission, to revive Jewish life in Germany. Like him, Jews from all over the world are choosing to settle here permanently, even applying for German citizenship.
So why is the question? Why are they choosing Germany, right? So if these Israelis are, it sounds, at least the people in this group that they're talking to all seem to be like Zionists, like aligned with the ideology of Zionism. And Germany does tend to be the most pro-Zionist European country. Obviously, it's pretty obvious to see where it comes from. It's from the guilt of the Holocaust being warped and turned into a redemption, there's an idea of redemption in German society of we can redeem ourselves by helping Israel colonize and kill as many brown people over there as we possibly can, right? So I mean, they don't say it that way, but that is what they're doing. And so there's this very inside of Germany, there's this very, very like weird fascination, like weird like they have lots of special rules for Israelis and for Jews and stuff. They have lots of like particular laws that are like like you know, separate from just like normal like hate crime laws or whatever. Like they have extra like Jews are essentially like treated as like a special type of citizen inside of Germany compared to like just normal people basically, or like other people. And I guess people who have lived in Israel, where they have that exact same dynamic, where Israelis, like Jews, are considered a special class of person compared to the hordes of brown Muslims that live inside of their borders. That's how they see them, right? They probably feel, I think, particularly at home in Germany, and so that's probably why they choose Germany, if I had to guess.
Like Rabbi Gewirtz, his grandparents were originally from Germany, Holocaust survivors.
Being able to speak the language, to have a German passport, and to continue living here as a Jew, for me, that's a win. It's even something I'm proud of.
People see that the community is growing in Germany, and despite the challenges and problems, there are also many positive aspects. That's one of the reasons why they see a future in this country.
This return to Germany is made easier by a law dating from 1949. Descendants of victims of Nazism can obtain German citizenship without giving up their original passport.
See, that's one of those special laws that I just told you about that only apply to like Jewish people.
Eliyahu Raful.
By the way, this creates a really weird dynamic in Germany. I've heard of people who are like they like fetishize Jews. Like some people like fetishize Jews inside of German society, where they're like they'll watch like specific types of like porn and shit like that have to do with like Jewish people. Like there's this weird fetishization, I think, of Jewish people inside of Germany, based on all of these. Like, I mean, it's based on there's lots of stuff. I don't want to go into like all of it. Like I don't want to psychoanalyze the entire psyche of the German people or whatever, but it does all stem back, I think, from the Holocaust guilt, and then all of the institutional power that like, or the institutional actions that were done in order to facilitate the creation of Israel, and like funding and arming and like all that sort of stuff as well.
Arrived in Berlin in 2020. He obtained dual nationality 2 years ago. Today, he helps other descendants of German Jewish families to do the same. But for his clients, the process often begins with a very pragmatic calculation.
They want it in an uncertain world, they want flexibility, they want options, they want to move, extra citizenship. It seems like a promise. And yeah, the fact that people are asking for German citizenship, I believe, has to do with the fact that people has trust in Germany.
Ellie works closely with a lawyer specializing in immigration law.
It's because, I told you, it's because Jewish people get special treatment in Germany. And as people who, if they have lived in Israel, they are used to getting special treatment. And so they want to go somewhere where they get special treatment again. I'm just telling you, that is the reason that they are picking it. And they believe that they can, like, you know, they believe that if they are Zionists, at least, that they can, you know, espouse Zionism and be protected by the government for trying to, you know, prop up the nation state or the Nazi state of Israel. Like that is why they do it.
In her office, asylum applications from Jewish foreigners have multiplied, especially since October the 7th, 2023.
October 7th triggered another significant increase in applications, but other factors are also at play. Brexit, for example.
By the way, I did look it up. I'm just going to read the AI overview. Israel experiencing a negative net migration balance with significantly more people leaving the country than immigrating. In recent years, a surge in immigration driven by war and political instability has resulted in net population loss of roughly 20,000 to 37,000 individuals annually from migration. The more people leave the nation state of Israel, the less possible it is for them to to do their expanding over like larger and larger territories, and eventually they won't even be able to support their current expansions. They will either have to retreat from them or face total collapse. So there's that. One sec, I'll let this play.
For British citizens. And for the United States, we've already received sporadic requests from clients who say the situation with Trump seems too uncertain. And precisely because of the experience of our ancestors, it's good to have a sort of second option.
After October the 7th, anti-Semitic acts jumped by more than 80% in 1 year. A rise attributable to the far right and tensions born of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Marina Chernivsky witnesses the rise of anti-Jewish hatred in the country on a daily basis. She heads the first hotline specializing in violence and discrimination against Jews in Germany.
The Hebrew language, for example, has become a marker of political identity. It's perfectly natural for people to speak their mother language in the street, but it has become a risk.
Well, the nation state of Israel, man, they co-opt everything Jewish, and then they say they're doing everything for the Jews. And so, yes, it becomes controversial. Like it becomes controversial when you see all of the people in Israel doing atrocities and yelling in Hebrew, like a bunch of slurs at brown people. Like, yeah, it becomes controversial. Same with like the Star of David. Like Israel has completely warped that into like the new Nazi symbol. Like it didn't used to be that way. People used to like just see that as a Jewish symbol, but then Israel threw it up on their flag, and then it became it became what it is now. It's seen as like a hate symbol. Like, I'm sorry, that is the inevitable outcome of Israel's actions of co-opting Judaism in order to facilitate its crimes. That's what happens.
Many parents wonder,
tell them to stop. Tell them to stop. That's what my advice. Tell them to stop doing that.
If they can still speak Hebrew with their children in taxis, or if they can address them.
They can keep speaking Hebrew. I mean, that's fine. It is like, but I mean, I am like, they do need to stop doing their like atrocities, but I do think that it would be a good thing to remove the Star of David from their flag. Like, honestly, I think that would probably be a good thing to do.
Them in Hebrew on the street.
But in a country where the far-right AfD party has established itself as the second largest political force, some Israelis also see naturalization as a form of activism. Dekel Peretz is an historian. He's leading the project to rebuild the Jewish Community Center in Kreuzberg on the very site of a synagogue destroyed by the Nazis.
The main hall was burned down in 1938.
Okay, well, I think I got the gist of this. So I think that, it is interesting to know that their net migration is negative. I do think that will one day lead to either a retreat or collapse of their current expansionist goals. And the leaving, like the net negative migration, I think is going to continue happening as long as they are in a perpetual state of war, which I feel like they are planning to be in a perpetual state of war indefinitely at this point, like just always at war 24/7 forever. That's kind of what I think is going on with Israel right now. So Germany, be prepared to get a lot more. I'm assuming Zionists, like aligned Zionists, ideological Zionists in your country, and be prepared to handle that, because it's not going to be good. Zionists are like hysterical, man. They're crazy. So you got to be ready, be prepared.